Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. Welcome to yet another edition of Africa Discuss. I am Wilson Omasho. Today we're going straight to Egypt to tell you what is happening down there. And of course, you can relate it to what is happening in Nigeria because we are all in one continent, Africa. Yes, 13% increment in Egypt's minimum wage. It cuts across all spheres of the workforce. Now that is the work of Al-Sisi, their president. He chose to increase the minimum wage. This is for the third time. At first, he did an increment. He did it for the second time. And for the year 2022, he added 13% to rate. And because of that, he said this is now the right time to remove subsidies from various commodities. And no Egyptian is complaining about this. You can relate it to other countries, like what is happening in country A, country B, country C in the African continent. And of course, we can just oppose it with various countries also in the ECOWAS region, in the Eastern Bloc, Southern Bloc, the Northern Bloc. Just make a kind of a comparison to see how far we can really borrow a lead from the Egyptian president. The big question now is, why is he doing this? Is it for the betterment of Egyptians, or is it his own strategy to position Egypt as a viable socio-economic political hub in Africa? All these and more we take a look at. As my analysts, we share their opinions and views on this particular discussion. Join me to welcome our clergyman and of course a lecturer in the College of Medical Sciences. I call it this time right. Honorable Frank Amego, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate your coming.
Thanks.
All right. So very close to him, he is another clergyman, political analyst. You say, Will, I'm a prophet. Yes, I don't doubt that, but according to the scriptures, the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. Join me to welcome Reverend Jordan Iwala. Welcome to Africa Discuss.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Honorable Frank, I want to start off with you because I believe that you've done enough study in this. You're able to juxtapose Egypt with other countries in Africa. And I know you have so much to say since you are in the academic world. Over to you. This is the third time Al-Sisi is doing it. This time around, 13% increment, making it 157 US dollars. That is the minimum right now for the Egyptian workforce. Take it up from there.
It was increased from 152 to 172.
72 years.
Dollars. And if we rate at 500 naira per dollar, that would have been 6,000 naira. And
You get 6,000.
yes, that if it's at the rate of 500 too.
That's the minimum wage.
For minimum wage.
If you want to convert.
Yes. So
Okay.
if we're in the streets, we would have said, let's give it 3 Guza. So LCC will understand Guza. So, but the rest of us here in this part of Africa will understand and appreciate what kind gesture such a president has brought to the fore of African leadership. That goes to show that something good can always come from Africa if you allow it. And as you said in your opening sermon, that this is a tough time. And it's not enough to say this is a tough time. What strikes my mind each time is that last year when they mentioned the increase, 30%, was I came back to, brought my mind back to Nigeria, that there has never been any increase, any kind of increase in salaries or wages in Nigeria without a strike. And now President El-Sisi came up by himself. He brought the Prime Minister and other ministers together and said 10% for all civil servants, including pensioners. This is like, are we dreaming in Africa? What he has done, considering what happened to Mubarak, you know, it was a war-torn country, and up to 2011 we had crisis. And judging from where they are coming from, they are about 100 million in Egypt, and only about 29.7% of them on the poverty side of it, which is still okay. So what they have done now, if other African presidents can take cue from it, Nigeria will be an Eldorado. And at this point in time also, what the federal government of Nigeria was leveraging on, jack up the pump price to 300 and something, was, according to them, a recommendation or a suggestion by the IMF. It's the same recommendation or suggestion by IMF that they borrowed $12 billion from some years ago, 2016. That is the agreement is the reason why the president is increasing salaries.
We'll come to that. The IMF factor, and of course, the way you choose to divulge or use the IMF factor. I'll come back to it, Ayijo, because you raised a very solid point. Reverend Jordan, you heard him. I mean, what do you feel about this? Without strike, without being coerced, without being threatened, this is the third time Al-Sisi is increasing the minimum wage in Egypt.
Thank you very much. There's a way I feel with me. Even our educational curriculum and structure, has been deformed in the sense that in Africa, we go to school going by the colonial master curriculum, and those curriculum have not really helped us. There is need for us to domesticate our economic and social life, including religious life. That's the way I always have each time I come here. The moment we domesticate these philosophies about ourselves, we will become better. You need to know whether your people are hungry, what should be done. You don't need academic knowledge borrowed from the British or from any colonial master for you to. Even if the problem we have is that we have been operating with that academic knowledge of the British in this part of the world, for instance. And it is applicable to other African countries as well. The moment you come back home and tell yourself the truth, you will now begin to feel the way your people feel. Like what he said, in Nigeria, every increase goes as a result of a protest. Why must we wait until there is protest? Minimum wages, even in Nigeria, has to do with media perception only. In real practical terms, it doesn't translate. Therefore, El-Sisi, that's the president of Egypt. He is an African man who understands his people. We need to understand our people. We need to understand what is, prevalent. Just like in Nigeria now, you have so much hunger, so much hardship. Even the minimum wage we have here, 30,000, cannot carry one person, not to talk about a married person. Can't even carry one student. Are we not seeing our people suffering in that capacity? You don't need. That is why I say we need to domesticate our ideas, our perception about life. Let us Africanize it and leave the Western influences and knowledges which has failed us. Which even last time I told you, even in the issue of religion, we need to domesticate it, if possible. Throw away any borrowed religion. Continue with our own. The same thing with these economic issues. Even social life, we need to come back to our roots to know that this is the way it should be. Every borrowed thing does not work like original. The other parts of the world, the West cannot borrow our own system. At the moment we borrow their own, it doesn't work. So the minimum wage the El-Sisi is projecting is beautiful. He has realized his people what they need, what is obtainable, what can be done with that money, what is left. If you go to that Egypt now, the cost of living is not relatively high. It's very cheap. And if you convert that money to Nigerian money, you discover that we are living in Eldorado. But is it possible to be obtained in Nigeria, for instance, where we are? But after the entire global knowledge, we come back home. That is the best knowledge.
All right. Not the first time, not the second time. This is a third increment. Now, some nation in Africa will be like, if we should try that, the economy will crumble. How come Egypt is like defining the odds of these said countries in Africa?
Yeah. There's no country that will do what the FCC is doing now that the economy will crumble. It's a lot of greed, leadership greed. Like my colleague here said, well, it's also clear to me the kind of borrowing is talking about. Because I'm aware that the pair of glasses you're wearing is borrowed. Not the borrowing you're talking about. Borrow religion, Christianity is not borrowed, they are reverent. I just say we want to go back to idol worshiping. Education, that's where I'm from. That you will jettison. No, these are not the issues. The president of Nigeria is not a degree holder to say because he's over-educated, that's why we're having things like this. So it's sincerity. There are good Nigerians everywhere. Just that the few bad ones, if you allow me, are the ones ruling us. There are a lot of good Nigerians, good-hearted, kind-hearted Nigerians, just like SCC will do, that without agitation, just like the way parents attend to their families at home. Your children don't have to start crying for food before they start, okay, how many times have you cried today? Say 3 times, so I'll give you food once. So as a good parent, you should have to have a forecast. That at this time there will be school fees payment, at that time there will be food at home. So we have a lot of good Nigerians that can perform, but they don't have the platform. So it's that platform that is needed by a good Nigerian to do much better than SCC is doing. So if it does that, the increment, the 10% will be palpable by their fiscal year, which is July. So once that becomes real, there's no way to impact negatively on the economy of Egypt. And by extension, any economy of African countries. It's just the willpower to show that conscientious attitude towards the plight of people. It's no longer news that people are suffering in Nigeria. It's no longer news that the cost of living is far beyond an average Nigerian. It's no longer news that we fix things ourselves. So a human being that will do everything for himself and by himself, so such a person will be difficult to control. So now the president of Egypt has seen a way to hold on to the Egyptians without clamoring, without any form of agitation. He was able to understand the pulse of the people to know that this is what is needed. I don't have to wait for a protest. Do you know, as I speak right now, that the minimum wage arrears have not been paid, and the civil servants have not been paid. So they say a lot of things more than they want to do. So not until and unless we have sincere leadership. It's not about education and religion. You don't need to be a Christian or a Muslim to live well. Once God sees you, that you are on the right path, He will bless you. I like to say this: seest thou a man diligent, that man is any man, irrespective of your religious affiliation. Once you are forthright, there's a way God will assist you. So we want to hide under religion, under education, and we have forgotten the bedrock of civilization. I'm not so surprised because the little history I did in secondary school that civilization started in Egypt. And no wonder now is starting in Egypt without any form of agitation. That's what's more important to me. You can increase salaries, increase anything, but it will be premised on agitations. But now you just discovered that we had an agreement with IMF. But in the Nigerian context, nobody is telling us the details of the agreement. The first and only thing they told us was to come and increase pump price. And that they are going to do. I said not next month or so they're going to do it. They will go all out to implement. We're not going all out to fix roads, to fix lights, to fix anything whatsoever. So we can do it in Nigeria, for instance, without the economy shaking any bit. They're not shaking it.
Without the economy shaking?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, turning towards collapse, as they're saying it's going to happen if we do not take time to really fine-tune the economy. Now, during comparison between Egypt and, of course, a beloved country, Nigeria, the same IMF seems to be in the middle of it, or they are at the middle of it. According to report, IMF advised Nigeria to salvage your economy, you have to remove subsidy. That was when all these things started. Egypt also, the same condition was given to them with the loan they took from IMF, $12 billion, so to speak. Nigeria also, they collected the same loan. So what is different between Nigeria and Egypt, for crying out loud?
You see, I said earlier that the external influence worries Nigeria a lot. We need to be ourselves. We need to be ourselves. The IMF guiding us, the OPEC guiding us, all of these have never helped us.
But still, the same guide in Egypt.
I am coming. Okay. It is not left for you to know where you are, if it is applicable or workable. Not just borrowing any idea from any open mouth. That is why I said earlier, we need to domesticate our livelihood. Even if they are telling you, you know your people more than IMF, you know your people more than OPEC. In fact, I want to believe that all these international bodies, we need to ignore them and come back home and address our house in the way it will fit us. Like what he said, even if Nigeria pays minimum wage up to that of Egypt, it wouldn't shake anything. If you go by what our political leaders are going home with, the kind of money they collect within the 4 years in power, it is enough to settle everybody in the country. But because we have been deceiving ourselves, neo-colonizing ourselves in the name of political leadership, ignoring the feelings of our people, which is most paramount. Look at the former Libyan president. He was doing things in his own African way, doing it to fit his people.
Late Gaddafi.
Gaddafi, doing it to make his people comfortable, not bothering about any external conceptions. That is what I'm trying to say. That what the firewood we have is sufficient to make our food ready. Let us ignore these external influences. I'm not saying that we shouldn't belong to the international community, but to some extent, we need to say no. They'll come back to our house, address our house. We have all it takes to be comfortable in Nigeria. We have all it takes. Like what we're looking at now, they have made a price increase. Not that the people are poor, not that the people are suffering, but because there is need, going by the advancements of the total existence of human being in that country, like our own, that is being done maybe on newspapers and media through agitations, still not obtainable. Why must we wait until there is crisis and agitations when we have enough God has given us? That is why I said every home, every father knows his income, knows how to make his children comfortable. We have enough in Nigeria to be comfortable. And if we are comfortable, I don't think we have need for people traveling to Libya, traveling to Italy and all that. No need for that. Our youths are ready to work, very hardworking, energetic, but no work because of the economic manipulations we are into. Therefore, Nigeria, I am saying again, should come back home, remove greed, and listen to your people and address their problem. If Nigerians are very good people, if you give us light, road, and make fuel cheap, food stuff will be very cheap. Even if you are eating our oil money, they wouldn't bother much. But because you are eating it all, they are eating it all, the political class. Even the increment of minimum wage is on paperwork, not even in practical terms. Therefore, it is unfortunate indeed.
Wow, it's unfortunate indeed. Now, other thing we did after increasing minimum wage for the third time, we choose to remove subsidies from various commodities. You think it's going to affect the impact of the increment in minimum wage negatively in Egypt?
Never, it won't. Because that removal of subsidy is to energize and to put the poor on their toes. They don't just relax because they're going to have a bumper minimum wage and go back and relax. Is to make you have a rethink. I'm sure that's where you are talking about they should come back home. When there's no home, the Nigerians should come back home. There's no home. So that's why we are going now.
There is home.
No, that's why we are traveling.
There is home.
To Italy.
That's why we are traveling to London, to everywhere. Even from
Italy,
everybody is traveling because there's no home. If there's a home, you won't be running up and down. So there will be little or no change arising from the removal of subsidies. Because
for the Egyptian government and the people.
Yes, because the minimum wage you are having is about what they have in far developed countries. For you to say from $152 US dollars to 172, they use Egyptian pound there.
Yeah.
So now we also put a measure in place. It's not just to remove subsidy, whereby the unemployed. The CC said that 30,000 teachers will be employed every year for the next 5 years. So I don't see the removal of subsidy now negatively impacting on the people. 30,000 teachers per year for the next 5 years. One of the agitations of ASU in Nigeria is we are overlabored. We want excess workload. Where is the excess workload arising from? Because we don't have enough hands for the job. So if, as is being done in Egypt now, is done in Nigeria, there's no way that the Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria will be asking for excess workload. Because the work is really excess. And the money you are owing since 2009 is not the same value as at that time that will be now. So it's been devalued. So by that, there's apathy in the system. No thanks to the bad governance we're having. So now, as the subsidy is removed, it's just like a father and a child. I've been feeding you from the first day I gave birth to you. And you grew up at a particular age. And I told you, Wilson, you have graduated now. What you need to do now is you look for a job, then you go and rent your apartment. I'm sure that person, which is Wilson now, will not be angry because you have been enabled. So there's no way the people will be angry by the removal of subsidy because you have been enabled. So in Nigeria, you do everything by yourself. Is it civil defense, which is security? Is it infrastructure? You do everything by yourself. So you don't come back to such a people, over-labor them again. I learned that they're going to jack up taxes now. Anywhere from now, if you take a bottle of soft drink, you're going to pay much more. So if I pay tax to a body or to a government, I should be able to tax that body or government. But in Nigeria, it's not so. They tax you and they tax you, and at the end of the day, you are drained, and there's no strength no more in you.
All right. All right. You are doing comparison right now because it's like we're trying to follow the same format, but according to many pundits, the business of many African countries to the punch, and of course Nigeria also is on the ground when you talk about comparison with other countries in Africa that are giving out minimum wage. But Egypt right now is the focus. 3 good times: removal of subsidy and of course the taxation. If you're to be in the position of an Egyptian, what would be your reaction to this?
It's if we go by the econometric models, the president himself and his team already have looked at their house. They have looked at their economic strength before fashioning out all these models we are saying. What am I saying? I said earlier that the cost of living in Egypt is very low. So any removal of subsidy, they have already experimented all this, knowing fully well that it will not affect negatively on the people. That is what I'm trying to say. Leadership, or even the school we are going, is all about you and your house. Domesticating every knowledge, not just being like other people. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the way you run your house is not the way you run your house. Therefore, Nigeria should come back in their own way. The essence now, he is trying to do it the way I like. Arranging his house, not looking at any influence.
The way you like it.
The way I like.
And you're Nigerian speaking for Egypt right now.
Domesticating knowledge suitable to cushion comfort to his people. Not really waiting for any influence anywhere. Therefore, the people already know that the removal of subsidy will not affect anything. He has already put the economic models in place before removal of subsidy, and the economy is like a mechanism. The economy is like a mechanism. Any part that is faulty affects the entire, functionality of the mechanism or the machine. Therefore, what we're experiencing, maybe they're still coming up. They are still coming up with the economic experiments. The increase 3 times. They are going somewhere, removing subsidies. At the end of the experiment, you will discover that the people will be comfortable and still be happy. Unlike what we normally have here. Everything is going up. Everything is going up. Like what you said, the people have been drained through taxes everywhere, increasing fuel. In fact, when they increase this one now, I wonder how Nigeria will look like. Because if you go out, you see people, or the people that are normal, they are now mad because of hunger. No house, no nothing. Some people have not gone to their villages over 10 years ago because there's no money to go. I don't even understand. And I'm sure some people too must have deleted their address to their people. Let nobody know where they are again. Because of bad government. How long shall we? We are good people. The white people cannot suffer this and remain calm. If it were to be white people, you discover that one day you see governor or president will come. Somebody will come and use gun and shoot the president. Take me away and kill me. Enough of this suffer. We are good people. Little time now they'll come. 2023 is by the corner. They'll start giving the 2000. Hey, now you will know. Now you will know. Are we not mad? Are we not stupid? What kind of thing is that? But those same people too. Those same people you think you know how to manage them. You know how to pocket them. Are they not the people forming Boko Haram, forming bandits? Because they are hungry. The ones that couldn't bear to stay with us, they go into the bush and begin to attack from there. And more people they are even recruiting. Giving taxes to some communities to pay. If you don't pay, they will take over the place. That is the extent of the bad governance we're experiencing. Therefore, this is the beginning. If we don't come back home to tell ourselves the truth.
All right, you talked about the beginning of whatever, if we don't tell ourselves the truth. Now you talked about our CC's promise. 30,000 teachers yearly for the next 5 years. But with the money borrowed from IMF, with the index on the ground, do you think you'll be able to pull this off, knowing fully well that this is the 3rd time he's increasing the minimum wage of Egyptian workers? Talk about the workforce. How do you think this money is going to money? Apart from teachers, I believe there will be job opportunities also for other sectors of the economy. How do you think you'll pull it off?
I don't have to think deeply to answer that question. Because I would have done otherwise if I had to put myself in the Nigerian situation. But in the Nigerian situation, we borrow money, don't know why we are borrowing money. The National Assembly, upper and lower houses, they are waiting by the door, come and ask for money. They were asking recently when what is his name again? Kano. The court said Nigerian government should pay him 1 billion naira. Some persons were saying, where would Nigerian government get 1 billion naira? And I suggested, it's not China. Just China. Put the money and give to him. So, if we are borrowing, as is done in all countries in the world, including US, Canada, they all borrow. There's no country that does not borrow. So, if as you are borrowing, and as Egypt did, they would have gazetted a format that will need $1,000 here, $2,000 there, $1 million there. They would have arranged everything. And based on that, we will now borrow $16 billion. And that they have borrowed since 2016. And it's been working on and on. For the man to say, for the 3rd time, without any agitation, I'm going to increase salaries the 3rd time, he did that gradually. The amount he has reached now, $172, it didn't come overnight. It was stepwise. You will see the movement, the progress made in the economy. The economy is moving on, is moving forward, and is moving upward. Let's jack it up a bit. It wasn't selfish to have said, oh, let's amass wealth and share later. Let people remain like that. And at that point, they were not as there was not much suffering that to call for increase in salaries. He has a good mind. If that money was borrowed into this country, In the less than a week, that money is used up. There's no project. All the monies we have borrowed in the past 6-7 years, I can't see one. Maybe people are talking about wearing glasses now. You can see better than I do. I can't see any project or any institution that is built or any vision towards the borrowing of that money that this guy is going to put these monies into. I'm not saying. So for LCC, he knew he has an economic team. He saw it. I'm sure it was arising from the report given to him. We have saved so much. Let's see, give back to the society. I'm sure that was what led to it. And based on the structure he has on ground, he understands that if you increase the minimum wage for them, people will be happier. And you cannot rule over a people that are angry. So let's increase their happiness level. And that has not done. Let's maybe at the end of the day, let's come back here to this studio in July, which is our fiscal year, whether or not it is implemented. So let's not praise him so much yet. Let's see how much of the promises that he's able to keep to. In July, we'll come back here and analyze it.
Okay, so, but for one, he has done already increase the minimum wage.
Yes,
for the third time.
No, it's not implemented yet. The two have been implemented. What he has said some days ago, last week, about 5 days ago, he has said it, but as we said in Nigeria, it's not in the budget. It's the fiscal year that is going to start in July that will show whether he's going to implement them or not. So it's not yet Uhuru for him. Let's wait until July. But the attempt made alone is enough to applaud him.
Okay, according to reports, when he said it the first time, he did it. The second time, he did it.
There's no point doubting it.
And so many Israel saying there's no point doubting it. This is a third match.
Yes, first match Nigeria won. Second match Nigeria won. Third match Nigeria won. Fourth match there was a call. They don't see that call. The fourth match they couldn't win.
I wouldn't want to.
So let's wait until July. Whether it will implement.
All right, some are saying that it is good as being done because it was also like skill expectations.
No, it's good as being said. Okay, yeah, I've done it.
Okay, well, let me come to you, Reverend. Well, he said it's good as being said until July. People are saying that done the first, second, the third will not be a problem. But some are saying that this is a plus, so to speak, robbing Peter to pay Paul, in the sense that you increase the money, you remove subsidy. The money goes back into the pocket of the government. What's your view on this?
And like I said earlier, before these econometric models comes into play, there is already a pattern fashioned out. I said they are going somewhere. Like he said, he has already projected 10,000 teachers.
30,000. 30.
Okay. And he didn't just say it. There is an economic projection analysis before he comes up to say it. I know he was talking from the Nigerian perception. He had just said it. For him to have done it the first time, the second time, he is not in Nigeria. He will do it.
They have said it.
I don't get it. It's not in Nigeria.
He will do it.
What are you now insinuating?
I'm coming. Where are they? They won't be allowed to come up. You just said 7 years ago, since 1999, they have been borrowing money. Nothing has been done. No light, no road, no water. You know that as at 70s, there used to be water all over the township. Pipe-borne water. All over the place. All over the place. So, with all these monies they are borrowing from IMF, from wherever, what have they been using it for? Nothing. Nothing. And I don't know. Our people need to come out and say, if we die, we die. If we live, we live. That is the point where we are now.
Which was it the poor people or the rich people? Which people?
Hold on. I'm going to ask a question, please. He just said, let's let it lie.
The rich who don't want to die.
Let's let it lie,
the poor should come out and say, if we die, we die. Like on the night of this month,
that point yet, please.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Like on the night of this month, I was giving prophecy about Lagos crisis that I saw coming, and I saw the curfew 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, and I think within this last week, in some parts of Lagos crisis have started. So,
but it's been resolved also. The result.
If you allow me to open up now, I will tell you where it will land.
Come down, let's focus on
Finally.
Egypt. Let's focus on Egypt, please.
It is part of it.
Yeah.
After Egypt, you come back home. Like in the school, after studying the economy of Britain, economy of France, you come back to Nigeria economy. That is what they should teach us and leave Britain economy and France economy. Domesticating ideas and knowledge. Until we begin to harvest the value embedded in us. Our school curriculum, like I said earlier, have not enabled us. The value of you is in you. We need to, our governments need to bring it out. Leaving the copycat knowledge we are getting in the school. Philosopher Socrates, a philosopher helping us doing nothing. You need to develop our mindsets. Let us develop our environment. Most people that produce aircraft and vehicles in Japan and other countries, they didn't go to school. They focus on the development of the man in them. The divine potential God embedded in them. They developed it. So the schools we are going has not helped us. We need to come back again to change our school curriculum, to develop ourselves for our environment. When we develop it, the world will come and buy what we have. We are still busy deceiving ourselves. All right. Therefore, that Egyptian president now, SCC, he is trying to carry his people in his own way, not minding what you people are doing in Nigeria, whether they are doing protest before increase. He's increasing his own. At the end of the increase, he will now begin to bring in subsidy, minus fine-tuning the economy to make everybody comfortable at the end of the day, which is the essence of leadership, not just pocketing money since 1999 till now.
All right, if you just joined us, this is Africa Discuss. We're taking a look at minimum wage in Egypt, CC's economic reform. This is the third time he's increasing the minimum wage in Egypt, and this time around he increased it by 13%. Yes, and right now, a minimum Egyptian salary, talking about the minimum wage, is $257 to $172. You just convert it to Naira, they get the mathematical aspect of it. And the Egyptians, they are how would I put it now? They're like, to them it's just normal. Because I didn't see anybody raising placards saying, yes, our CC, you've done well. To them it's like, the normal way of life. But how come in some other countries you get to hear protest, you get to hear strike, you get to hear a warning strike, you get to hear a yellow card, red card before some things are done. Now, this is the same IMF that's operating in Egypt, is even from the IMF operating in Nigeria. The same format given to these nations, but we're seeing different results. We'll go for a break, we'll return. We're going to expatiate on all this. Is IMF truly the problem, or the leaders piloting the affairs of these great countries in Africa? You stay with us. Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is Africa Discuss, taking a look at minimum wage in Egypt, CC's economic reform. This is the third time he's given an increment in the minimum wage, and we'll have some serious banter off camera, but obviously I won't let you to the banter. I still have these two reverend gentlemen opening in the studio and speaking their mind in this particular discussion. The fact of IMF, it seems to be working for Egypt. How come it's not working? People are saying it's not working for Nigeria.
It is working. If it's not in Nigeria, we will not say the Nigerian factor. If an automobile industry manufactures cars, and they never intended that such cars be used to kill people. So the right use of such loans is what the Egyptian president is doing. As here back home is the wrong use. It's being collected, loans are collected to oppress Nigerians. Because we're not seeing the manifest presence of the loans being taken. So it's not IMF that is forcing it on us. Before IMF will give you any loan, though there's an agreement So it's part of the agreement reached between Egypt and IMF that is making LCC to make all these promises. Salary increase, employment, and all that is part of it. So the same IMF told Nigeria as a country, if you are borrowing such an amount from us, subsidy from petrol will be removed, which also did in Egypt. They provide a level playing field for every citizen of Nigeria, employment, infrastructure, but the government of Nigeria decided to deliberately ignore this other part of the agreement. So they have just chosen to go ahead. The first thing we heard about the IMF, they told us, they advised us to remove subsidy. What about other pages in the book?
Increase minimum wage,
yes,
cushion the effect of the removal.
They asked the Nigerian government to cushion the effect of that subsidy removal. That they're not talking about at all. If there's an agreement, that agreement was, there's no paper, there's one page. There's a front and there's a back. You tell us the back side of it. You only look at the page and you're telling us that the IMF, you entered an agreement that you remove subsidy. Was that all the reason or reasons why you went to borrow loans? You took loans. So you can't take a loan from any organization to impoverish you as a person. The loan you are taking, they will ask you, what are you using this money for? I'm sure the Nigerian government would have written certain things that we are not aware of. This money will be used for electricity, to be used for this or that, to be used for so many things. And they got the loan and they want to implement it as agreed. So if there's a way the Nigerian people can come in to say, show us the paper that you signed. So let's start from number one of the agreements and do that gradually. What I'm saying it as a form of wickedness, leadership wickedness, that don't want the progress of the people of Nigeria. It's the same place we went to borrow money from, that Egypt went to, and some other nations went to. There's nothing wrong in borrowing, but it's what we use the loan for that is of consequence if there will be any consequence. But the way it is in Nigeria now, they borrow money and nothing is seen. We only hear about money borrowed. That's why I joined voice with the court that said Nigerian government should pay Kanu 1 billion. If you don't have, go to China. China will give you, before you go to China, go to that national assembly. They will sign it. They will pass it.
Honorable, we're talking about the 1 billion because that 1 billion is like, is like earth-shaking amount of money.
He's giving reference.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, let's give you reference, official reference.
We're talking about the economy.
I'm suggesting it's part of the economy. You are incarcerated a human being as if it's an animal.
Anyway, we're not talking about cameras.
It's part of it.
Oh, we're talking about cameras.
Right
now. No, hold on now. Let's move back again to Egypt, please. Let's leave
Egypt.
Let's leave Kano Egypt. I know left Egypt, but now we have to talk about Egypt. So please, anchor, please.
Yes.
Second, go to
yes. No, actually. So the point is, Nigeria should go letter by letter, word for word, the agreement that made IMF to give us loan. Let's go one after the other. The only thing they have just told us in Nigeria is removal of subsidy. But I don't think that was the reason. The only reason the IMF gave to Nigeria for them to give Nigeria the loan. That's not the reason, the loan.
Over to you, Prophet Jordan. You heard him. Yes. The IMF factor in both countries.
You see, Nigeria is a country that eats money. They don't reproduce money.
How?
We are money eaters. We don't reproduce money.
How?
We borrow money and share.
But still, these monies are used for project execution.
There's no project.
That's what we're told.
There is no road, no light, no water, no food, no fuel, nothing. So the money is being shared. We are money eaters. We are not money reproductive country. That is the problem. If you look at the mentality of Nigerians, we are intelligent people, and we make almost the best, economic policy in the world. But all of these policies are being jettisoned, not executed. Therefore, I'm sure they must have done the same thing to present to IMF to collect money. At the end of the day, they share it, they pocket it, You can imagine states going to borrow money from Abuja after the monthly sharing of
allocation.
Oh my God. Is it not in this country that fuel was sold for 11 naira during Abacha regime? How come? Before this government now came in, fuel was sold for 87 naira, 97 naira. So what is the difference? What has happened that made it to go up this way and intended to go high again? These are, I don't know, political mental deficiency worrying us in this country. The IMF is there.
Political mental deficiency. That's quite strong.
The IMF has no problem. After all, if you tell people like Okonjo now to go and manage IMF, she will manage it well. Why not we use the same mentality and develop this place and make it economic hub? We are still not ready. We are still sharing national cake. Therefore, IMF has no blame. We are to be blamed. We are like a rich man having children. When the rich man dies, the children are fighting and killing themselves to share the property. That is what we are doing. Until we become we are not productive yet. Look at Nigeria having oil, no refinery working. Is it not a shame? What do we want? We are busy sharing money. If your money is finished, you go to Abuja, they will give you another one. They will give you money. We are still busy. If we should tell ourselves the truth, every political office holder has billions of naira with him. Billions pocketed. Why are we here talking? Talking rhetorics, theorizing issues. We need to drop all this and tell ourselves the truth and come out and, if possible, fight for it, for change. Most of these countries you see that are enjoying now, they must have fought, in the past to make everybody to sit up. That is the truth. And we shall get there.
All right. Well, Egypt, Victor Mubarak, there was, the Arab Spring. I forget it also that churned up Al-Sisi. I wouldn't want to go through memory lane. Mubarak to Morsi. Al-Sisi came in to stabilize Egypt back again, became president, and now according to some persons, they have big views of Al-Sisi. Some are saying he's a savior, some are saying he is a tyrant, but the economy is not suffering as such, according to research and, of course, report. Now we'll be able to compare these two great countries in Africa, and of course extended the comparison to other countries also in Africa. How do you think that what is happening in Egypt in terms of minimum wages and full-time students close to Al-Sisi can really be felt by other African countries?
If they have a good mind, they would have borrowed a bit from Egypt. Or if other countries will do that, Nigeria won't.
Why would you say Nigeria won't? Why would you say Nigeria won't?
Okay, Nigeria will never. They won't, because there's a state they want us to operate from. Every time they push us to the background, they don't want anybody to rise up. There is a ruling class. They rotate all these things among themselves. That is obvious for all to see. If you wake up tomorrow to be a councillor in your ward, your local government, when they'll give you some bills to pay, you thank God for your initial life. So they know that you can't attain it. Any money borrowed, for instance, is shared, as I said. It's in the private pockets.
But these are money meant for project execution.
Yes.
So even if you say they are shared, you have proof of that as being shared.
I should give a proof. The proof that they are sharing the money is there's nothing that they are doing with the money.
In place. No light, no water.
I'm
no
taking money from you to buy a car. The next time you saw me trekking. So there's no other proof that you need beyond that. So if Nigeria government, you are talking about homecoming. Now I'm trying to get the home is talking about. What I feel is talking about is let's talk to ourselves. This money, God, we went to borrow.
Where's the money?
We borrowed. I went to Papa Kechuku's place. He said you borrowed 10,000 from him. I want you to buy food.
Where's the food?
Papa, there's no food at home.
We are hungry.
Okay, Uchenna, go and call Papa. You don't call the man that you borrowed from. You said you borrowed 10,000
for food.
But where is the food? So that's your own coming. let's talk to ourselves.
Okay.
Not from a distance.
No.
Not from a distance. So there are many of things from a distance
Distance.
that the government is taking positively towards every Nigerian. Nobody is taking on their behalf.
All right,
thank you. That good talk.
Thank you so much. Reverend, quickly, 30 seconds, the way forward, please, our time is up.
The way forward is to domesticate our leadership, domesticate our mentality, and bring in our African religion into play that will scare them away from stealing money.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate a wonderful analysis when you heard them. Sisi came in to stabilize Egypt for the third time. He increased the minimum wage for the third time, this time around by 13%, before he started talking about removing subsidy. Nigeria, the center of Africa, what is keeping us in this position that we are in today? Food for thought. See you tomorrow, God willing, on International Forum. Bye.